I have breaking news for AEW to talk about on this shorter video, as well as a couple other things that I want to talk about for both AEW and WWE. All of that here on Screw the Script. Welcome back, everybody, to Screw the Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick. I hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend, as we have some breaking news that I wanted to talk about in this quicker video, as well as a couple of other AEW and some petty WWE things I'll bring up in a few minutes here. But first, on to the good stuff. Right up there on the screen, we have breaking news on AEW and HBO Max, a breakthrough, rather. I'll read it here as you're reading it. HBO Max has revised its terms of use for subscribers, introducing a new section on one-time purchases. These updated terms will take effect on September 20th, which we all know is All Out later in September. Strong likelihood that AEW's All Out 2025 from Toronto could be the inaugural AEW pay-per-view offered through the service. HBO Max has been developing the necessary technology for this purpose over time. This is absolutely huge. In a time in pro wrestling where you have the second biggest American promotion in AEW and the biggest promotion just in general that's been around for decades in WWE, who right now is forcing their viewers to watch their weekly product and their PLEs and whatnot on 6 different services, I believe. I mean, you got Netflix. You can watch it on basic cable for CW, I believe, for NXT still, but you still have stuff on Peacock, I believe. Now you need ESPN Plus or Disney or whatever else. I can't even keep track of it. It's a fucking headache. And this is just yet another win for AEW and why I think they are kicking WWE's ass in 2025. Not just in the ring, but outside of the ring. Their ticket prices are still modest and affordable. Because this is great news, but right on to, the opposite of great, I think shitty news. We see what I just said, where ticket prices are modest and affordable in AEW. They are not for WWE. This is the card for Clash at Paris, or Clash in Paris, or whatever the hell it's going to be called. Yes, Clash in Paris. I had to double check. 5 matches only. People are paying thousands of tickets for front row. Not even front row, like front 10 rows. Those tickets are astronomically high. And you look at this card, what the hell is that? That does not look entertaining at all. Not to me. I mean, you got a has-been versus a almost has-been. And, Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. Like, Becky Lynch has not been the same since she's returned. I really don't care for her right now. I do not give 2 shits about Nikki Bella, and I haven't in near a decade. Then you got Sheamus and Rusev, 2 guys that are pushing 40 or in their 40s, I believe, actually. Rusev hasn't done shit since he came back. I really don't care what he's doing. Sheamus, I've always thought, is overrated. I don't care about that match. Then we have John Cena. One of his farewell tour matches is against a YouTuber. Who, granted, is good in the ring, but I cannot stand the Paul brothers, so I don't give a damn about that match. Then you got Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed, a whatever match. We're going to see probably 5 spears, 3 Superman punches, and maybe a drive-by, and that's it in that match. Nothing to write home about. The only match on this card that looks decent is what I'm assuming is going to be the main event, with Rollins, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and CM Punk. But is that enough to justify those ticket prices? Absolutely the fuck not. To give an example of why I think this is ridiculous for the ticket prices they're charging, ROH had a show last night. We saw Paul Walter Hauser have an insanely talented match against QT Marshall. I did not realize how good he was actually in the ring. I mean, he got chance, "You're a wrestler," from people watching that match last night. It was better than Jelly Roll, I'll say that. If you're going to compare celebrity versus, and celebrity from WWE, he did way more than Jelly Roll could ever do. And I like Jelly Roll as an artist, but pro wrestling, no, he did not belong. Paul Walter Hauser legit looks like he could retire from acting and be a wrestler, because it was way better than I expected. And, all of that, Bandito and Hechicero had an insanely good ROH championship match. That's probably going to be better than anything on this Clash in Paris card. And the people that were there at the same arena as Dynamite was at historic ECW venue, they paid a fraction, a small, tiny fraction of the prices that tickets are going for Clash in Paris. This is honestly just ass in Paris. That's what I'm going to call it. We'll see what happens. I believe it's tomorrow night, Sunday afternoon, actually, not night. It looks like, 2 p.m. Eastern Sunday. I'm still going to watch it because I'm curious how it's going to be, but I have very, very low expectations. Now going back to AEW, but also WWE as it affects AEW, but it's from somebody in WWE. We have this up here on the screen that came from Booker T, and I read this and completely laughed because people eat this shit up. They believe Booker T is right, and that's the toxicity in WWE fans. WWE has been around for so long, they're not giving AEW a chance. A lot of AEW fans were WWE fans well before, like myself. I mean, look at the guy behind me if you haven't noticed already. I just don't care for it anymore. And there's a stark difference between someone who loves pro wrestling and doesn't like what WWE has turned into over the last decade versus a WWE diehard that just won't give AEW a chance, probably doesn't even know the context of this match, and just probably sides with Booker T. He goes on to say, Booker T says the gummy bear spot at AEW and New Japan Forbidden Door is an example of why he won't watch AEW. Really, Booker T? When you did this shit to say, did they sell the gummy bears? That right there is perhaps one of the reasons why I would not watch an AEW show. Again, Booker T? Really? He has the audacity to, and he doesn't know the context probably, clearly actually, because he doesn't watch the fucking product. So he's just speaking out of his ass here. And he literally was guilty of this with Stone Cold in those clips that I showed you. Like, you can't dog on them for something when you don't even know the context first with the Young Bucks and how everything is just going wrong for them with their entrances, their music, now obviously weapons. That was supposed to be tax, I'm sure, and it was gummy bears. Like, it's comedy, and he doesn't even know that. You know, he's honestly just a hypocrite when he did that ridiculous grocery store brawl with Stone Cold Steve Austin like 20 years ago. Probably longer than that, actually. It was like almost 30 years ago now. Complete buffoon. Respect Booker T's career, but I do not agree with them even for a slight second on his take on this. And this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing in 2025 with him, Triple H, Shawn Michaels earlier in the week, last week, I believe, or earlier this week, he said that he thinks NXT is the best 2-hour show in pro wrestling. It is far from it. Not even close to as good as Dynamite. Dynamite is blowing NXT out of the water, and certainly Raw and SmackDown, who are just ads, promos, and very little in-ring wrestling. It is dog shit. That's all I had in this episode of Screw the Script. You let me know down below what you think about the HBO Max deal to end on a positive note. I cannot wait for AEW's success for the remainder of 2025 and going into 2026. If they truly are going to be having their pay-per-views on HBO Max, it is an absolute win for AEW going forward. And that is going to be a huge slap in the face to TKO and WWE, as they've been trying as hard as they could all year in 2025 to counter program, and it's not working. It just makes them look petty. It makes them look like sore losers. I mean, WWE is having a down year. SmackDown last night was awful. Sami Zayn wins the title, and there are so many comments, if you go to their socials, of people being like, nobody wanted this. Bring back Karrion Kross, which might not even be a work at this point because he's been gone for a while. I still think it is a work, but if it truly isn't, they really fucked up. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.